Namaste. Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the online classes brought to you by Vivekananda PU College. I am Supreet Kesi. In today's class, we are continuing from the previous session. That is, we are discussing biomolecules, right? Yes, biomolecules. Biomolecules. Yes. In biomolecules, we have studied how the living components are analyzed. It may be your organic one or your inorganic one, right? Then we have seen on biological point of view how the biomolecules are classified: carbohydrates, protein, lipid, etc. And even we have studied thoroughly about the carbohydrate as well as the proteins. We have studied the general formula of writing amino acids, the different classifications of amino acid, and the zeta ion formation. Everything we have studied. As well as in last two sessions, we are just initiated the discussion of enzymes. What is enzyme? How enzymes are doing the catalytic process or catalysis. Those things we have studied. As well as we are looking the factors that affecting the enzyme activity, right? What are the factors that affecting enzyme activity? We have seen. Okay. As you know, the factors affecting enzyme activity, the temperature and the pH plays a vital role. Of course, it is point number one. And then the concentration of the substrate is very important, and it is another factor which are affecting the enzyme activity. And the third point is the presence of inhibitor. Yes, presence of inhibitor. Presence of inhibitor. Presence of inhibitor is a third key point which is a factor that affect your enzyme activity. Dear students, you already know the inhibitor is the one, or it is a specific chemical which will shut off the enzyme activity. Okay, it is a chemical in which will shut off the enzyme activity, called as an inhibitor. And this process is called as inhibition. Okay. In more technical word, if you want to quote what is inhibition, what is inhibitor, then the binding of specific chemicals. I repeat, the binding of specific chemicals which shut off enzyme activity called as inhibition. The certain chemicals, only the specified chemicals which will shut off your enzyme activity, called as inhibition. Then here I have mentioned specific chemicals, right? Yes, these specific chemicals are called as inhibitors. These specific chemicals are called as inhibitors. Okay, this is about the just introduction of your inhibitors or inhibition. There are chemical substance, there are some inhibitors which resembles your substrate. Some inhibitors resembling the structure of substrate. substrate resembling the structure, both look very similar. Okay, a more similarity you can find out. The resembling structure shown by the inhibitor to the substrate is called as competitive inhibitors. Competitive inhibitors. The resembling structure shown by the inhibitors to the substrate is called as a competitive inhibitor. What will the competitive inhibitor do to your enzyme activity, or how it can affect your enzyme activity? I will answer. Dear students, you take one enzyme here. You take one enzyme. Okay. Of course, the enzyme is having a catalytic site. I have an enzyme. In this enzyme, I have a catalytic site. This is an enzyme where this is a catalytic site. I have a substrate. Okay, this is a substrate, and it should go here and should show me a binding. Then catalysis should happen. That is a common phenomena. But I have an inhibitor here. I have one more inhibitor. Fine. What will this inhibitor will do? This will go rapidly to the site of enzyme, catalytic site of an enzyme, and fits here. Because of same structure, the enzyme cannot differentiate which is my substrate, which is my inhibitor. Because of that, the inhibitor fits here. This is inhibitor now. Okay, substrate don't have any binding site to sit out. Correct? Okay, now enzyme is fully operational on the inhibitor. Substrate is free. So there is no catalysis, there is no breaking down. Correct? This will reduce the enzyme activity. This will reduce the enzyme activity. This is about the presence of inhibitor. Let us take an example and study more. Fine. Okay, we have one beautiful example here. Let us see that. Example. Okay. We have a chemical called as succinate. We have a chemical called succinate. This succinate, okay, in metabolism gets converted into fumarate. Succinate gets converted into fumarate. This is a substrate. Okay, this is the product, but there must be an enzyme right here. Yes, we have an enzyme which is called as succinic dehydrogenase. Succinic dehydrogenase. This is the enzyme which catalyzes the substrate of succinate, gets converted into fumarate. So simple. This is the normal process happening. Here our inhibitors comes. We have an inhibitor which is called as malonate. Malonate is again a chemical which resembles the structure of succinate. Okay, and the malonate, what your malonate will do means See, you have a succinate here, and it will gets converted into fumarate by the presence of succinic dehydrogenase, right? But the malonate is very similar to the substrate called as succinate. So it inhibits the succinic dehydrogenase, okay, in the following reaction. Which is that following reaction? Means this is the following reaction, okay. So the substrate succinate has to convert it into fumarate, but the same structure shown by the malonate will inhibit this process, So the succinate should need to convert it into fumarate, but because of the presence of malonate, which is showing a similarity to the succinate, this reaction does not taking place. Because of that, the whole process is inhibited, and this is the best example for competitive inhibition. Okay. This competitive inhibition is very important, okay, in the controlling your bacterial pathogens, okay. It is very important in control bacterial pathogen, controlling bacterial pathogen. That is a function, that is a merit of this competitive inhibitor. This is about the presence of inhibitor in the case of the factors which are affecting the enzyme activity. Let us see the classification as well as the nomenclature of enzymes. Classification and nomenclature of enzyme. Yes, classification as well as nomenclature of enzymes. Yes. Classification and nomenclature of enzymes. Classification as well as nomenclature of enzymes. Okay. Dear students, if we take an enzyme and classified it into many groups, then I can find out major of 6 groups based on their catalytic property. Let us see what is that catalytic property. And these are classified as oxidoreductase, transferases, hydrolases, lyases, isomerase and ligases. The first one is oxidoreductase, the first one. Then transferases, the second one. Hydrolases, the third one. First one is oxidoreductase, transferase, hydrolases, then lyases, isomerase, ligases. These are just 6 classifications of enzyme based on their catalytic property. Okay. See, you have already studied the oxidation as well as reduction. Okay. These reactions will be catalyzed by the enzyme called as oxidoreductase. This catalyzes the oxidoreduction, okay, of the two substrate. Between the two substrate. Oxidation as well as reduction between the two substrate. Okay. Let us see let us take example. See, you have a substrate which is reduced, and you have another substrate which is oxidized. By the presence of an enzyme called as oxidoreductase, this will convert by the oxidoreduction process. By means of that, the product will be like this. So here the S will be oxidized, okay, then another substrate will be reduced. This will catalyze the oxidation as well as reduction. Here one will be reduced at the end, one will be oxidized at the end. It is doing this will doing the catalysis of oxidation as well as reduction between the two substrate. Between the two substrate, it will do the oxidation as well as a reduction. Oxidation as well as reduction by means of an enzyme called oxidoreductase. So the name is like this, oxidoreductase. Yes. The second one is transferases. Second one is a transferases. As the name says, this will catalyze the transfer of a group. Okay, it will catalyze the transfer of a group. Okay, that is other than hydrogen. This will do the transfer of group other than hydrogen. This will do the transfer of a group other than hydrogen. Okay. So how the transfer of group will takes place? Let us see. You have a substrate here, dear students, which is consisting a group plus another substrate you have. Correct? Just an example. One substrate you have one group, you have another substrate. Okay. Here the group will be transformed from one substrate to the another substrate. It is like this. Okay. Plus dash. Sorry. This is transfer of a group between the substrate. So it is like this. It is like this. Substrate, group, substrate, 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 group. Just a transfer of a group between the two substrate. Okay. Even the substrate transfer you can see, but that is other than hydrogen. Okay, other than hydrogen. Keep it in the mind. Transferases. Let us see hydrolases. Hydrolases. As the name only says, hydrolases. What is hydrolases? Hydrolases is involving the catalysis of, it will catalyze the hydrolysis of, ester, then ether, then peptide, glycosidic bond, even carbon-carbon bond. It will do the catalysis of carbon into halide, or yes, etc. Carbon into halide. By doing the hydrolysis, catalyze the hydrolysis of ester, ether, peptide, glycosidic, even carbon-carbon, even carbon-halide linkage. Okay, all these reactions will be catalyzed or promoted by the hydrolases. How this reaction will occur? How the hydrolysis will occur? Take an example. You have A and B. Okay, you have A and B, which is a compound here. Okay, then you add water. Okay, water. In the presence of this hydrolases enzyme, this will split as, okay, AH plus, okay, OH is here, BOH. It will catalyze hydrolysis of ester, ether, peptide linkage, glycosidic linkage, even it is carbon-carbon linkage, carbon into halide linkage. Everything will be catalyzed by the presence of this hydrolases by doing the hydrolysis process. So the hydrolysis of these reactions will be promoted by hydrolases enzyme. Hydrolases enzyme. Okay. Then the fourth one, which is called as lyases. Lyases. Hydrolysis over. This is lyases. 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 What is lyases? As the name says, this is a group of enzyme where it will catalyze the removal of groups, okay, by several mechanisms, okay, other than hydrolysis. Okay, this lyases is a group of enzyme that will do the catalysis, okay, by many mechanisms, which is involving many mechanisms, okay, and it will do the removal of groups, removing of groups also you can see, okay, but there is one clue, there is no hydrolysis. There is no hydrolysis. Okay. If you take an example, okay, then the example can be like this. If I have a substrate like XCCY, general example we are quoting here. If this is my substrate, where the lyases is doing the catalysis, okay, there is no hydrolysis, of course, okay. If there is no hydrolysis and this substrate has to undergo process of catalysis, then the group obtained as a product is like this. Okay, group obtained as a product is like this. Is like this. Group obtained, okay, as a product is like this. XCC. Yes, leaving the double bond. Here, leaving the double bond. Of course, this is substrate and the catalysis is happening by the presence of lyases, okay. The product will be like this. If this type of a reaction is happening in our body, okay, it will always lead by lyases, always lead by lyases. The next one is isomerase. Isomerase. You already heard of isomerization. Okay, isomerization. Yes, isomerization. You already have studied what is optical isomers, geometrical isomers, even the positional isomers. Isomers. Isomerase. Isomerase is an enzyme which catalyzes the positional isomers. Positional isomers. Positional isomers. Geometric isomers. Positional isomers. Geometrical isomers. As well as optical isomers. Optical isomers. If in a reaction you have a substrate which involving maybe the positional isomers, geometrical isomers, optical isomers, these all will catalyzed by the enzyme called as isomerase. These will catalyze by the enzyme called as isomerase. If these isomers, okay, undergoes a process, definitely the enzyme which will carry out the whole process is called as isomerase. Okay, sorry, isomerases. It is a group of enzyme, isomerases. The last one we left behind is ligases. Ligases. Okay, ligases. Let us see that. Ligases. Ligases. As the name says, ligase. Okay. Ligase means linking, a formation of bond. Ligases will do the catalysis, that is the binding or the linking of two compounds together. It will do the linking of two compounds together. Two compounds together. It will do the linking or binding of two compounds together. Example, the enzyme that will catalyze the joining of bonds like carbon oxygen bond, then carbon sulfide bond, then carbon nitrogen bond. All these kind of a bond formation will be linked by the linked up by the enzyme called as ligases, a group of enzyme called as ligases. Okay, this is about just a classification as well as nomenclature of an enzyme. Okay, then now let us see the something about cofactors. Cofactor, which is very important. Cofactors. Cofactors. Okay, before going to talk about cofactors or its complete details, you must know, okay, how the cofactors are arranged around the enzyme, or what is how the enzyme actually look by the presence of cofactors. You have an enzyme like this. This is an enzyme. Fine. In this enzyme, you have a catalytic site. This is the catalytic site of a enzyme. Okay. Here, if you have a presence of a particular group of chemical, okay, this structure is called as a cofactor. Cofactor. Okay. This part is called as apoenzyme. I'll explain this. Apoenzyme. Then this is coenzyme. Coenzyme. The whole structure is a holoenzyme. Holoenzyme. This is a structure, a basic structure of enzyme, where this is cofactor, coenzyme, apoenzyme and holoenzyme. Okay. Dear students, okay, what is a cofactor? These are non-protein content that is bound to your enzyme. These cofactors are non-proteinous, non-protein part which is linked to your enzyme, called as cofactors. Cofactors are non-protein part which is linked to your enzyme. That is called as a cofactors. What is cofactors? It is just a non-protein part which is linked to your enzyme. Okay. Why it need to link to an enzyme? Just make the enzyme catalytically active. Catalytically active. Who will do the enzyme very active, or who will trigger the activation of enzyme? Your cofactor. Your cofactor will trigger the enzyme to be very active. Okay, which is a non-protein part of an enzyme. That is about cofactors. Okay. You have a protein part of an enzyme which is called as apoenzyme. Protein part of enzyme is called as apoenzyme. Apoenzyme. See, this is apoenzyme part, which is a protein part. This is a non-protein part which is called as a cofactor. This is protein part of an enzyme called as a apoenzyme. Okay. Now, this cofactor plus apoenzyme, the whole one, apoenzyme, which is called as holoenzyme. Here I write cofactor plus this one, apoenzyme, enzyme called as holoenzyme. Holoenzyme. Cofactor plus apoenzyme called as holoenzyme. Okay. This holoenzyme is very important. Okay. When the cofactor is removed from the enzyme, the catalytic activity or the catalytic power of an enzyme will be lost. When you remove this cofactor from the whole setup, the catalytic activity or the catalytic power of an enzyme is being lost. Okay, that is about your cofactor and the importance of cofactor to your enzyme. Importance of cofactor to your enzyme. These cofactor can be of three types. Cofactors can be of three types. Cofactors can be of three types. Let us see what are these three types of a cofactor. Three types of a cofactor. Let us see the three types of cofactor. Okay. Three types of cofactor. What is cofactor? Cofactor is a non-proteinaceous part, right? Yes. This cofactor can be of three types. What are those three types? The first one is called as prosthetic group. Prosthetic group. Prosthetic group. Prosthetic group. The second one is called as coenzymes. Coenzymes. The third one is called metal ion. Metal ion. Prosthetic group, coenzyme, metal ion. Yes. Prosthetic group, coenzyme as well as metal ion. Okay, fine. What is a prosthetic group? It is, however, it is a organic component, which is a organic component. What is organic component? Your prosthetic group is an organic component. Okay, then this is tightly bound to the apoenzyme. Tightly bound to the apoenzyme. Tightly bound to apoenzyme. Tightly bound to apoenzyme. Tightly bound to apoenzyme. You can take a example of heme. Heme is just a iron containing compound. Heme, the presence of heme in peroxidase as well as the catalase enzyme. Okay, presence of heme in peroxidase as well as catalase enzyme. In peroxidase as well as catalase enzyme, you have a presence of heme group. You have a presence of heme group which is tightly bound to the apoenzyme. So the prosthetic group, which is one of the type of cofactor, is an organic compound tightly bound to the apoenzyme, and the example is a heme, iron compound which is being bound to the peroxidase as well as catalase, just an enzyme. Those are. This is about your prosthetic group. Okay. Then let us see the coenzymes. Coenzymes. Okay. Coenzymes. Dear students, coenzymes is again an organic compound. That is organic compound. What is organic compound? The coenzymes. Organic compound, first point. And this is loosely bound to the apoenzyme. Loosely bound to the apoenzyme. Loosely bound to the apoenzyme. Some coenzymes may contain vitamins also. Coenzymes contains vitamins also. Vitamins also. You take an example of NAD, okay, nicotinamide, as well as NADP. These are all the enzyme which is containing a coenzyme called as niacin. Niacin is a vitamin, that is vitamin B3. Vitamin B3, niacin, vitamin B3, that is present at the NAD as well as NADP. Okay, this is about your coenzyme. What is metal ion? The third type of cofactor. Metal ion. Metal ion. Okay. Metal ion. Metal ion. Dear students, in metal ion, or the third type of cofactor, the metal ion is very important, which is to form the coordination bonds with an enzyme as well as your substrate. Okay, the metal ion is one of the type of cofactor, and which is very important to form coordination bond. Coordination bond. Okay, coordination bond, and with a side chain of active as well as one or more with the substrate. Say, as you know, when you have an enzyme, when you have a substrate, as I told you in a previous class, there may be chances of formation of a bond, or there may be chances of a breaking of a bond. While the formation of a bond, nothing but a coordination bond, when it will form, there will be a production of a bonding energy, right? To increase the bonding, there may be there should be a more and more formation of coordination bond that will led by the metal ion. That will led by metal ion. In the case of a carboxypeptidase, enzyme in carboxypeptidase, the metal ion called as Zn, zinc, which plays a vital role. Zn, which plays a vital role. Okay, just to increase the coordination bond, metal ion is very important. Zn in the case of a carboxypeptidase enzyme plays a vital role. So these are the types of cofactor, and this is the ending of a story of a biomolecule in your chapter. So today, in today's class, we have studied what is a inhibitor, how inhibitor can alter the enzyme activity, as well as the classification as well as nomenclature of enzyme. We have seen, we have studied the 6 types of enzymes groups, as well as we have studied the cofactor, apoenzyme, holoenzyme, cofactor, coenzyme, then these 3, nothing but the prosthetic group, metal ions as well as coenzyme. In detail we have seen. Okay, this is the ending of your biomolecule in your chapter. So I think I can wind up the class now. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Okay, stay at home, stay safe, read well, have a nice day, and thank you.